Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our web series. Today, we are lucky to have Shalini here with us. Thank you, Shalini, for taking your time to chat with us. To start off, could you tell us a little bit about your personal career path? Like, what field did you study in? What made you choose it? And has this taken you to where you thought it would?
All right. My career path has been quite a roller coaster. It wasn't from like point A to point B. So I actually did my bachelor's in biochemical engineering. So I'm engineering. I'm an engineer by trade. So which is quite weird because I'm doing a PhD in cancer medicine, which is totally different. So while I was doing my engineering, I sort of realized I don't want to be in the industry. I don't want to go into and be an industrial engineer. And I fell in love with research in the middle of my degree. I was always passionate about cancer research because I lost a friend of mine due to cancer when we were in high school. So I always had that drive to, work in that area, but chose a really different path to get there. And then after I finished my bachelor's, I did my master's, which was actually a combination of molecular biology and engineering sort of combined together. So I learned molecular biology and genetics and everything during my master's. So I went in there knowing nothing about cell cultures, knowing nothing about DNA extractions or RNA extractions or anything like that. Totally new to me, but I did it. So my master's was for a year. So I did my master's, and once I finished that, I applied in Melbourne for a PhD, and I was lucky enough to get, picked or chosen for the position. And I'm still surprised as to why they picked me because they have applicants that actually have experience in this area and they've been studying, genetics and stuff. So I'm in the lab that focuses on genetics very much, like it's very genetics focused. So and now I'm doing my research. So to be honest, I didn't know I would reach here. I would go to do a PhD in cancer research, but here I am.
Okay, so my next question is, what skills and qualifications have been crucial in your line of work? I know you've kind of touched a little bit on this already, but are there any important skills you would suggest developing before working in your field? Or are there any skills or qualifications you would consider less crucial?
Right. I would say skills, like personally for me, time management has been the biggest thing for me. I know a lot of people sort of shy away from it and they're like, oh, time management, I don't need to do that and do everything last minute. But I find that personally for me, that has been something that helped me do whatever I'm doing right now. So I'll give you an example. When I was doing my master's, so it was a full-time master's, I was also working almost 35 hours a week. So it was almost full-time as an environmental engineer. So plus running ScienceBox. So I had all these things going on. And if I did not know how to, I used to be one of those people like, oh, last minute stuff, do everything last minute, it'll be fine. But I remember going into my master's and thinking that if I can't manage my time, I'm really going to be, screwed up if I don't, know how to do things properly. So I went into it, and it's a process. Like you learn really slowly as to how you want to organize your time, how to do things ahead of time and still have time for yourself. So that's one skill that I learned was very essential for me. And also, I guess this is a skill, being adaptable. It's something that you really need, especially in my area of research. The thing is that there's a lot of things you have to learn on spot. Like you're expected to learn new techniques, you're expected to learn new technology that comes through. So you can't just be like, I don't want to do it. It's not like, or I can't do it or freak out that it's too hard or something like that. So you need to have a mindset to sort of be like, okay, whatever life throws at me, I got to take it and adapt to it and do it. So those are two that I really stand by, and I sort of follow it into my day-to-day life. I personally believe there's no skill that is not essential. I feel like whatever you have learned kind of makes you who you are now, whether if it only contributes 10% or something, but it's still a skill that you have used before and has actually got you somewhere. So for me personally, I don't think there's anything that's like that was non-essential skill that I would say, oh, like I never used that or something. So yeah.
Yeah. There are skills that you just pick up on the way and you never know when you're going to use them, but they're going to be useful somehow.
Exactly.
So you've achieved a lot, and I'm very impressed and inspired by your accomplishments. What experiences did you find essential for your personal and professional advancement?
I feel my whole, like in terms of career, so professional, this whole journey that I've taken from like engineering to science to, you know, cancer research, has really opened my mind to like a lot of different areas, and I've met a lot of people through this, you know. So you get trained as an engineer for 4 years. You're trained to think very logical and problem solve, and just, you know, like anything that comes to you, you need to be able to solve it. And then you get into science where it's more theoretical, and it's, you know, you have to like start to learn different sort of concepts and build that foundation to get through it. And then obviously a PhD is just next level, so it's, you know, something totally different. So you then take on all that and sort of apply to that sort of thing. So for me professionally, all the little things that I've sort of picked up on the way, you know, from engineering, from science, and now I really apply that into my PhD. It really helps me, sort of sets me apart from like, I guess, other people, because, or other scientists that might have just had like a science degree and did an honors and now they're doing the PhD.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more tech savvy, I reckon. I love new equipment, and my supervisor loves new equipment. So like whenever something comes or a new technology that they want to invest in, I am the first person to be like, I'll do it. Like I really want to optimize it. I really want to get my hands dirty with it. Although it's quite scary because that equipment, you know, one testing would cost you $20,000 or something like that. So you're quite kind of like, all right. But I was like, don't tell me the money, just let me do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's something. And personally, I reckon I've gained a lot of confidence during this whole process. I know a lot of students, like especially in uni, they kind of struggle with confidence in terms of the path they're taking. Like, you know, it's always like, am I doing this? Is this right? Or like, should I be doing this? Or you contemplate your life, and trust me, I've done that a lot. Like
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes still do. I'm like, should I do a PhD, or should I have just been an engineer? How life would be different. So I feel like I've grown to be more confident, and also be more accepting of things going wrong. That's something a lot of people don't accept, and I sort of embrace it. I feel like every time I failed, I've learned something totally different. And I know it's like a bit of a cliched saying, but like for me, failure is like the next stepping stone for success. Like I never look at it as like something that has set me back. And maybe at that time I would be like, I'll sulk about it. I definitely sulk about it, but I never take it as a setback. So, like you said, I've achieved a lot, but the outside world only sees my achievements, and they see what I've, you know, the awards or whatever, you know, all these things. But I know how much work and I know how many things I've applied to only get like the 10%. So if I apply for like, you know, 20 scholarships or awards or things, I would only get like 2 out of those 20. So it's not like I will get all of them. So sort of that sort of mindset. And that just makes me, you know, more trying, and I like to apply for things. I never shy away from it. If I see a grant or a scholarship or an award, which I know that I have a possibility, even like a 10% chance or 20%, you know, that I can get it or I fit the criteria, I apply for it. And I do want to give students this advice that just apply for things. Like, don't think that, oh, I won't get it, you know, because yeah, you might not, but doesn't matter. I think that gives you a lot of experience of writing and sort of portraying yourself. So yeah, those are the little things that I've learned professionally and personally. Yeah.
There's a lot of things in there.
Yeah, I know. It was a big question.
Yeah. So the next question is quite topical. So given the current COVID-19 pandemic that we're facing, What suggestions would you give a student worried about future employment and opportunities? Like, do you see any silver linings coming out of this pandemic?
Yeah. I feel like at the moment there's a lot of uncertainty around everything. Even like personally for me, there's a lot of uncertainty, and but I do feel I feel like a lot of people think that there won't, like, the opportunities would be seized, or like there'll be less opportunities coming out, or you might not get the jobs that you want to get, or things like that. But I feel that that won't be the case. Like, you must have noticed, like, every industry is sort of adopting to this new area of work and things like that. So because of the new innovation and that adaptation of things happening, I personally believe there'll be more opportunities than ever. And people, this whole online thing that's going on right now, and everyone's doing everything online, because back in the days you wouldn't think that you would work from home, that it's possible, yeah. So I feel like students should not worry, but they actually should start to be more resilient and like be able to adapt to the new situation. So I take this time to learn new skills, something that you might be putting off. If you want to learn, be amazing at Excel or things like that, that you never got the opportunity to do it, because trust me, you're going to need it. So like anything that's related to like computers or technology and things like that, that's something I think people should just start, sort of adopting to it, like, instead of like pushing it away, because a lot of people are like, nah, I don't want to do anything tech related, or it's too hard, or things like that. So I think this is a chance to do that, to attain new skills. But I don't think anyone should be worried about not having new opportunities. I think there will be a lot of opportunities, but you just need to be more adaptable to take them on.
Yeah. Right. Last question. What is one element of personal or professional development you would encourage all students to pursue? Again, you've touched on this, but yeah.
One element. Gosh. Yeah. Personal and professional. I think I'll be repeating myself again.
Yeah.
But I would, just to shorten it down, I would just say, this is me, like, that's for me. So it might not be for everyone. For me personally, the whole idea of like accepting failure, I think that's something that really helped me. And if you're planning to go into research or do your PhD or whatever, you really need to know how to fail, because there is more failure than success in this area. And I've personally seen PhD students crying because they just can't handle failure, or getting really stressed. Whereas I laugh it off and I'm like, no, it didn't work, so it's fine. Let's change it and do it differently. So being able to accept failure, that's something that I would say as a personal thing. Professionally, I think giving chance to opportunities, even if you think that they are something that you won't get, or you won't be able to sort of the criteria or something. I feel just go for it. Just do it. If there is an opportunity, don't just look at it and be like, maybe, but actually just get onto it and actually apply for things and just do it. Yeah. So yeah, I think those are the two things, because I do those two things and it works for me. So hopefully it will work for other people that have the mindset.
Yeah, they're very good advice. Failure definitely should not set us back. It should be like stepping stones, because failure could just be a redirection.
Exactly. And that's how I think of it. And you put it really good. It is just a redirection. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's it for us today. Thank you again for your time, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.